any need for executive? I know I have one personnel and one contract. It should be brief. I do think this whole meeting will be brief.
Okay. See if you can beat his record.
Yeah.
And
I hope
what's
so.
your record?
Like 30 minutes.
No, 18. 18
Was it 21?
20, yeah. Quick.
We might be able to make that
I'll second that motion.
excluding the
Or
executive.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any need to amend the agenda?
Not that I'm
aware of. All righty. Motion to adopt the agenda.
Motion, so move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anything on the minutes of February 1st?
Joe?
Nope. I didn't. They were good.
Probably do orders while we're signing if we want to speed it up.
Oh, you're right. We absolutely can. Any questions on the orders?
I do.
Well, all right
Maybe
then.
it's the same one. 1,072.50.
There's one here, 1,072.50 for the village, for the village farm,
Yeah,
yeah.
what is
That's, yeah, no,
We're not paying that.
we're not paying that.
We
Oh,
get
now it's
reimbursed
grant
for
reimbursed.
it.
We
will
get reimbursed.
We get
Well, if we're
reimbursed.
getting reimbursed for it,
We are
that's
getting
fine.
reimbursed
Yeah, that was
for
my
it.
question.
I
You know,
have
we-
copies of it
Okay.
to submit. We will be getting reimbursed for that one.
It
That
is
was
just
my
confusing
question.
though the way it works, where you see it go out, but you don't see where
We don't see
it comes
where
back
it's
in.
yeah.
But
That's why it gets questioned.
yep,
So there's that one, Joe.
John had asked for those to come once a month.
Well, John was giving them to me once a month, but once John left, that quit. So
For what's
hopefully
that?
here in a few weeks we can
legal
start
fees
it
are
again.
piling up. You see that?
Yes, I did. We didn't put enough in the budget.
I know the legal fees.
They're
Oh,
getting up
they're
there.
gonna be probably
Probably
worse.
gonna be more before we're done.
Was that the only question on the orders?
That was the only one I had.
Okay.
What's the Thunder towing
Thunder Towing, I
for the
believe.
Durango?
Yeah,
For-
that was, the engine finally got switched out. And they're the ones that put all the parts in.
Oh, okay. Because I thought we'd already paid the engine stuff,
No,
7,000.
we'd started to pay for the parts, but then they finally were able to do the install. They were waiting on some other parts or something. And it finally got done last week.
The only other question I had was WB Mason tried it for a penny. It cost probably
More than
$10
that
to
to-
process that 1 penny.
Yeah, they do it
I know.
if we don't
sometimes they
charge
charge
in
that.
a certain amount of time or something.
All right, was that it on the orders? All right, assistant to the town manager report.
Delinquent water and sewer bills have gone out. There are approximately 90 accounts unpaid as of the due date. This has been steadily decreasing since. Town report is being printed as we speak.
Perfect.
We had the dedication ceremony this morning. Alicia did very well speaking at it. Chad has ordered the road signs for those height limits to be placed as soon as the ground thaws for the bridges that we discussed in previous meetings. Royal Glass has come to look at the door. I am just waiting on a quote from them. They don't think it'll be much to
Okay.
fix it. They told me how they want to approach fixing it, and I said that sounded good to me based on what I was seeing, so.
Time to do it soon.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on the quote.
Yeah.
Chad's still having issues with the salt shed canvas. He's been reaching out to Casella's, hasn't had much luck so far. So we're trying, they patched the third big rip, but there's a lot of little pinholes in it, so he's still trying to get a hold of Casella's again to figure out a fix for the canvas.
I think it'll be replaced at this point.
At this point, well, it should have been replaced as soon as we had that first rip, it should have been replaced.
Yep.
I mean, wherever they got that, it's gotta have a warranty on these things.
And that's what Chad's questioning.
And hopefully
at this
we've got
point.
documentation in writing of the first rip.
Yep.
I'm not sure, that was before
Well, I
my
know you,
time.
but
I can
one would
definitely
hope.
look
I
into it.
hope so.
I know, for what that cost.
Yeah.
I think it was started out, there should be something at least in the minute.
Yeah.
well, yeah, cause it was
been
within,
discussed.
within a few months it had a rip in it.
Right.
I think it was even before
Before
that,
that.
yeah, it was.
Well,
Yeah.
It was within the first 2 weeks, I think, of you guys
Yeah.
Well,
owning it.
yeah, it wasn't long.
I know it wasn't long at all.
But I'm pretty sure it's in the minutes at some
I think
So-
Yeah.
someone needs a good, strong letter from the board, maybe.
I know, where's some of the ratchet straps
Well,
going
because
to?
it,
You know, so, yeah.
cause I mean, it's not that, it's whoever they got it
Well,
from
yeah,
has got
I
a
mean,
warranty
They were
it.
the contractor.
Yeah.
Right, but they were, yeah, no, they are in between, but it's gotta go on whoever manufactured it.
Yeah.
And
Cause those
then,
things usually last forever. Well, I say
Sure.
forever, but,
Long
well, they
time.
should. My father's has been up forever, and
Yeah.
that one doesn't have a tear in it that I know of.
yeah.
This one's gonna be trouble all the
Have a
time. It's
lifespan
happening
of some
now.
kind.
Yeah. I talked to Gary Kupfer earlier this week about our tax sale. He said due to the number of them that are still being paid on and the lateness and the timing, he'd like to see us start July 1 with whoever's delinquent for this tax year and the list that we'd given him of the ones that have gone on for years, to bundle them to make it whole, because some of them are still in VHAP, so we're waiting to hear if VHAP's going to
Oh.
pay the taxes before we can put them up for tax sale. So he said, with everything going on in town offices and everything, his suggestion was wait till July 1, we pull a report of who's delinquent for the 22-23 taxes and previous, and just bundle them all together and do one giant tax sale.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Gives people a chance to get them
Yeah, they
paid.
like-
Yeah,
paid.
and it
They
gives
get
them
'em
a,
paid.
he said we'll get more bang for our buck, and then, he said there are some that he would like to see go to Board of Civil Authority, to be discussed and hashed out.
Yep.
We have one that's an unlanded mobile home where the mobile home does not exist. Jeff Biazuzzi did take the ride. That mobile home, he said, has not been there for some time because the weeds and grass are quite high. But he doesn't know when, from 2015 till now, it was removed.
But I'm not baiting it anyways.
So, I did go to the Chittenden Reservoir Emergency Action Plan meeting today, just so that people know, and I'm gonna put it in the newsletter that'll come out in March. May 9th at 6:30 PM, they're going to be doing one of their siren testings. They want just people to be aware of it. So I figured I'd write up a little blurb and put it in our newsletter, and also probably post it on our website as it gets closer so that people are aware, not to be alarmed, it's just a test.
May 9th, you said?
May 9th, it'll be a 3-minute long,
6:30, you said?
6:30 PM. And then in November, and I don't have the date yet, they're gonna do 8:30 in the morning, a 3-minute warning test.
Now, are they, I know the last, at least I think, the last time they did that, they were looking for people
To see
to,
if they-
to hear it. Are they gonna be doing that this time?
Jan said she'd send me more information,
Okay.
because I wanted exact date, and she says, I'm pretty sure it's May 9th, and then they confirmed that it was May 9th. But she said that she would send me an email with further details, so that we can put the blurb in and all that.
Yeah.
You know if we ever sent any letters to the people in East Pittsford? Remember Jan was talking about that?
Yeah, no, we did talk about that again today, about public knowledge letters, sending letters to those that are going to be in the floodplain mapped out and stuff, and that we should do something for them and maybe attach it to the lister's card. That's what they're doing up in Chittenden.
Oh,
Is they're
okay.
attaching something to the lister's card, so if anybody pulls it up, they can say, hey, in
It's
this,
in the flood.
Yeah.
it's in a flood zone if something was to ever happen to the dam.
Yep, that's a good.
And she'd like us, we're working on an approach, multi-town approach of educating the community in case they do hear the sirens, what does that mean in that area, that kind of thing. And they're also going to be teaming up with the city of Rutland so that when Chittenden sounds their alarms, the city of Rutland and Rutland Town, I think both are gonna be sounding theirs at the same time. So it'll be a community-wide, testing of the system, and then that way people would know that it's for that reason.
Yeah, okay.
Don't know if we'd even hear it over here, would we?
Not likely in this area, but the ones that would be most affected are the most likely to hear it. They just wanna make sure that they can hear it. And they are up to 4 alarms up in Chittenden.
Yeah, because we,
Sagamon,
yeah, Brendan, I
Yeah.
both, I was on,
When they did it?
yeah, I was on Shadow Lane and she
Yeah.
was at Sangamon and
Yeah.
we heard it.
You can
Yeah,
hear
they
it.
said that
Just fine.
Sangamon, Oxbow, Shadow Lane, those are gonna be the important ones to hear it.
Yep.
Cause those will be the most affected areas. And then today in email, we have a diversity, equity, and inclusion. If anybody, community members wanna comment, this Vermont Judiciary Committee on March 16th from 4 to 5 PM is doing at the civil probate courthouse on Center Street in Rutland,
Oh, okay.
so. That's what I've got.
Oh, thanks.
Question,
Yep.
when does the dog ordinance become official? Our new one, our new one.
February 20th.
February 20th, okay.
All right, any select board member remarks?
I'm good.
I think, well, I don't know if anyone else, I think tomorrow, no. Friday is that Act 250 meeting at Cedar. Anyone's, it is at the middle of the day,
Where is
12. Cedar, well, at the Hub Co-works, you know where Cedar's new, the building is? It's the Opera House in Rutland.
Oh, okay.
Downtown Rutland, Opera House building, so. I know there's a lot of new stuff coming, you know, a lot of new stuff in the legislature around Act
Yeah.
250, so I'm gonna go to that. Any public comment? Sheesh. Okay. All right. Well, so we don't have to have you sit here through the whole meeting. So it's under, so lead, right? The lead services contract? Just wanted to make sure we're all on the
Yep.
same. Okay.
So, I guess to begin with, what clarification on lead service line inventory are you looking for, or would you like an explanation? Because I know Craig talked about it, but I don't know how he explained it, if he went way too in-depth, or if he explained it so it should be.
He was very in-depth, and I
Yeah.
think we all just were like, oh my God, this
Yeah,
is
it's
gonna
like, wow.
cost us a fortune, and what?
So, to begin with, by October of 2024, we need to inventory every single service line, both town-owned and customer-owned, of the entire system. That does include any sprinkler lines and any non-potable lines, as they could have in the future be hooked up and used for potable water. If we do sign the contract with Otter Creek, we will be meeting with them and getting them all of the information, which we do have quite a bit of information on all of the interior plumbing of homes from when we did the meter installs. Tyler and I have actually gone through and made our own spreadsheet and taken the data from most of those and moved them over. There are several, there are more than several, there are quite a few unknowns. So the interior, we should be able to cut down the amount of housing visits we have to do. I haven't completely read through all of the language that the EPA has. I didn't get the entire thing to even print, but that's most of the better share of it, of the new rule. But we should be able to cut down on the number of home visits with that information. And then between the work we've done over the last few summers replacing curb stops where I've actually visually seen service lines, got photographic evidence of it, the projects we've done in recent history, which are a good chunk of Route 7 and so on, we know the dates of that, we know what materials were being used then. That $80,000 quote that Craig gave us, I'm hoping we can cut that way down.
Oh, okay.
And with that being said, that loan, I wish the state could give us a, hey, this is your percent forgiveness. That could be anywhere from 0% forgiveness to 100% forgiveness. And it's all on how much money they give out and what the percent forgiveness they give us is. I just would like their backing on it because it's a large document. And with two of us out there, from what I was reading, a lot of, it'd be like 2 full-time employees for several months working strictly on this as well, where if we can get with them, hammer it out, get it done as quick as possible, get it in, and hopefully EPA accepts it, and then we can look at going forward what we're gonna have for a scale of replacements. I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't think we're going to have a huge amount of them because those projects we've done, we've upgraded. And lead wasn't used widely before the 80s. Any of the older stuff, yes, but we've done away with a lot of that. And thankfully, the way that it's worded, a lead gooseneck, which is a short section of pipe that comes off from the main, kind of looks like an S,
Oh, okay.
looks like a goose's neck. They don't count that as part of as the service line being lead. I don't get that.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense, but.
And like all of our older pipes where they have the oakum packed around them and they have lead poured over the joints because water doesn't contact it, those aren't considered anything with the lead and copper rule. So that made my life a lot easier, because if those were all considered in it, we have a big issue.
Yeah.
Because every bit of our transmission main from Chittenden
that.
down is lead jointed, and all of the older portions of the system are that way. And only on those lines are where would worry we have any lead lines on our portion of it. Now, we do have to inventory the customer side and our side. We aren't going to be, from the last update I got, we aren't going to be involved in any of the customer side of changing it out, other than giving them information on, hey, we think you have a lead service line from this point in. Here is what you should be doing, but we're not forcing you to, and we can help you with giving you any information and what to do going forward. And also if you don't replace it, what the best moves are so you don't have lead in your drinking water, like running your tap water and flushing it out prior to drinking out of it and so on. That'll be our role in it. So a lot of public outreach in the future, depending on what we find.
Yeah, okay.
They didn't want initially us going out and doing what they call potholing, which is digging right straight down to the pipe to look and see what it is, unless we get into a large area where we don't know what's there. We've had enough repairs and replacements that I'm hoping that'll be minimal. We'll be able to do that on our own. So hopefully we can keep the cost down on that and do as much work in the future as possible. Any spot where it's a service line, unless for some reason it's out of our control and it's under Route 7 where we can't get to, we should be able to do all that on our own in the replacement portion of it.
Okay, so a couple questions. So if you've got a house, is it talking pipes after the meter?
So what our inventory has to do is up to the meter.
To the meter. After the meter is,
After the meter, which I don't completely understand that, because the EPA's goal is 100% lead out of the water system, which it's a great goal.
Yeah.
no, I'm not,
Very, very hard to obtain goal, because any older house has got
leaded
lead
pipes.
solder, lead pipes, lead fitting. I mean, it's even anything prior to, I think it was 2010, before they changed the lead amounts in the valves. To make your ball valves or any of the plumbing in your house that was brass, they had lead mixed in with it. It was a small amount, but to make it pliable, there was lead in there. So I don't know how strict EPA will get on that in the future. I know anything going in now has to have a tag on it that says lead free.
Right.
We had a lot of parts when that changed that we couldn't use anymore because it didn't have a tag on it.
Next question. So, say somebody's water line fails and it's got to be dug up and fixed, and you find that it's lead and it's 20 feet to their house or whatever. Is there any way that we can require them to change that out right then and there while they got it torn up and get it done with?
I don't know the legal stance on that. We can strongly suggest, and I mean, if you're digging it anyhow, now's the time to get
Now's
lead
the
out
time
of
to
there.
well, I'm just thinking, again, every one we get rid of is that much less problem that we're gonna have.
And some of that, when we updated our water ordinance, one of the wordings that was in there is it used to be you had to be copper from the curb stop into your house if you were under so many feet. We removed that because that HDPE plastic pipe is just as good as copper and a heck of a lot cheaper. Still expensive, but cheaper.
Right.
And to make it cost effective, and so that I don't feel as bad saying to someone, hey, instead of just putting a band on there, let's go the extra 5 feet and replace the whole line. Just a strong suggestion, not making you do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the whole line's this age, it's probably gonna blow and a hole up here,
And if it's galvanized, if you plug this hole, another one up here.
Another one is
squirts.
gonna come to its funeral.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm just thinking, again, will it be a lot? Probably not, but it's
And most
Everyone
people
counts.
are reasonable with the, if you can say, hey, look, the material of this isn't good for you,
Yeah.
and here's the other stuff. And if you're going to fix it anyhow, now's the time to do it and do it right.
Yeah, yeah.
This only applies to the municipal water system, doesn't apply to
Right.
homeowners that are on their own.
Right, this is all for the public drinking water systems.
Just wonder whether they'll be coming after the
Oh,
homeowner.
So they will.
I don't doubt that'll be
Well,
in the
eventually
future.
they will, yeah. But,
I mean, the idea of it's great, it's just, it's a very hurried timeline, and,
yeah, and a lot of money.
mhm. And none of us were thrilled to see that when it came out.
What happens if
it's-
it's not done by October of 2024?
So, the wording is they will fine us, and they don't give an amount, but they want it done bad enough that it will be a decent fine, and basically starting the next day is when you're gonna start being fined by it, so. Trying to get it done early,
Yeah, no.
and
Just
get that
curious.
in so that it's not a lingering issue.
Well, it's comforting that you come here and tell us that you don't think it's quite as bad as the guy on there
Yeah.
told us.
Well, the good part about it is that Craig's thinking of the system, and he's not as well-versed on it as Mark Youngstrom used to be, because he was our, engineer that did a bunch of the upgrades. And Craig's kind of come in more in the last 5, 6 years, maybe I'm off on my number, into the system, and he doesn't know as much of the history on it, where I've boots on the ground, seen a lot of it. I feel comfortable saying, I hope that I don't find a lot of surprises out there, but even with chatting with Bruce, since we still talk on a regular, he doesn't think there's a ton of them out there, other than maybe a few on the old system that we haven't come across. They were lead goosenecks, so they wouldn't have been bothered by this, but the section between Keith's and Kamuta's, that older section of pipe, we did replace all of our service lines underneath Route 7 through there, probably 2012-ish, and removed all the goosenecks, and they're tapped right into the main. We shut off the old corporations. We did all brand new ones there because the age of the pipe being under 7, and with the 7 upgrade being lost in space, we didn't want to have a leak in the middle of Route 7 where we couldn't get to it and do anything about it.
Yeah.
So we've kind of taken care of some of the stuff that we didn't even know was going to be an issue ahead of time.
Sounds like you're in pretty good shape.
I hope we're as in good a shape as I feel that we are.
Yeah. So do we have, so it sounds like
So I
we've got
have,
the Otter Creek contract.
I have the contract here, and I know Helen and I have said we'll help as much as we can too to
Yep.
minimize book time on them. And then I also have the service line inventory application for financing, loan application. And this is the one where we don't know if we'll get 0%, 100%,
Yep, okay.
somewhere in the
Oh.
middle.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I have them both.
Whatever percent we get's a help.
And I believe it is a 0%, but I could be wrong.
I'm gonna say, no, it's a very, very low interest on it.
The loan,
Yeah.
the loan he said was
Okay.
0%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it can be rolled into the construction.
Right.
Right.
So loan terms will be 0% interest and fees. Repayment will start 5 years after the loan agreement, split into 5 annual payments.
Oh, right, because didn't he say it was on, like they do 90% of the
That's the-
work, so when
That's the drawings.
No, those are the
Oh.
drawings and stuff. This is something different.
All right, that's confusing.
No, well,
There's
a lot of
enough
that
stuff
night.
They're at
going on.
60% now, with the authority now to go to 90%. He
90%,
doesn't
yeah.
wanna go 100% because of what happened on Route 7 South.
Gotcha,
right,
gotcha.
yeah.
Okay, no, yep,
Those chances are it could.
yeah.
Oh,
They-
well,
Even though he said there's not enough leeway,
No,
but they
but-
could still.
yeah,
Can
but
still do something.
a foot one way or the other changes the whole design.
Yeah.
So we want to make a motion to accept this
I'll make a
contract
motion
of
to
Otter
accept
Creek?
contract.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for clearing up a lot of that for us, because it was,
It was a
Took
lot.
me a lot of reading and double checking and talking to Craig and then reading again to see what it meant in plain English,
yeah,
get to where I'm at with it.
yep, okay.
So Alicia, I think
Yeah.
you're the only one that has to sign the contract for
Okay.
the town of Pittsburgh. And then if you guys want to approve applying for the loan, you each have a spot, and then I have to sign it because I am the representative for the whatever it is, GWSRF or
Yep.
whatever. So that one needs to go to Alicia. That one you guys need to vote to say that you want to do the
Oh.
loan, I think, and then
Yep.
sign it.
Need another motion to approve the
Yep,
loan?
yep.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'll let Craig know in the morning because he sent me an email today and I waited until tomorrow to reply to
I
him because
Saw it right before I left. I know he was looking for getting into the
on GIS.
GIS for the listers, but I gotta make sure he knows that we've got an overlay for the water system on that too, that he can be in.
I'll let you deal with the GIS. I'll deal with the other parts. Because GIS is over my head.
Just a bunch of lines on a map.
What's today, the 15th?
Yes.
Day after Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah. All right. Speed limit ordinance.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
ATV ordinance.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Shouldn't move
Joe.
forward.
All right, Pittsford Fire Department coin drop request for 527.
Yep.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm assuming those are the same times that you
It
10 to
is.
2.
It is,
It
yep.
is. Yeah.
Just want to keep making note of that.
Turkey season, 10 in the morning.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the end of turkey season.
yeah. We'll see how
You should be done by then.
We'll see how dedicated he is.
Yeah.
All right, what is this acronym?
Department of Water, Sewer, something.
RF.
Drinking Water Service
Revolving
Revolving
Loan
Fund.
Fund.
Oh, okay.
So must be the
So-
water line on the bridge.
Yes,
Yes,
so
it is, yes.
Craig
It's the
Jewett
bridge.
messaged, or you sent an email and said,
Yeah.
hey, we know that this is gonna be coming up, but we didn't do this on the priority list.
Yeah,
Do you wanna
that's-
get it in on the priority
Yeah.
list because we know we're
Yes.
gonna have to do it?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And if, yeah, because if I remember reading it correctly, it doesn't like obligate, I mean, because we don't know what's going on with the bridge. It's just to get
Right,
us
it's
in
just-
the.
It's just to get us in for
Yeah,
priority.
okay.
If
Yeah.
it does get done, we'll have a package, hopefully, that'll tell us what we're eligible for this year. If it doesn't happen this year, we can put it back in for priority list
Yeah.
next year and see if that package is better.
Perfect.
All right, I will let him know that too.
Okay. All right, town meeting prep / assignments.
So in the past, you have broken up general and highway.
Yep.
And then water sewer, Clarence has spoken about, and I've
Which
got
he agreed to do this one last time, right?
I have to ask him next week, but
Okay.
I'm gonna try to twist an arm, pull a leg, get
Okay.
him to stay and do that part.
Because who else is on the board? Baird?
Baird, Ernest, Tom,
Oh, you?
But I may not be here either, so
and,
plan on me.
Jeez.
No, I may not.
All right.
Also,
Helen.
Helen
Oh,
is,
that's right, that's right.
Ernie
Okay.
Claire.
Ernie Claire.
Ernie Claire.
Okay.
Ernie's up. I'm sure Baird could do it. If Clarence doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But
I'm sure one of them will.
I didn't know, I guess in the past you guys have decided who's talking about highway, who's talking about general, so I just wanted
Joe
to make
always
sure.
does highway. I've done
She's done
general.
general.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we were all set, that
Yeah.
everybody knew what they were doing, because this is my first time
No,
to
I
a town
know.
meeting.
I probably should get together with road foreman and just
Yep,
spend a few minutes with him
okay, I'll have Chad reach
Yeah,
out to you.
just Short little brief.
Yeah.
Yep.
and so that I know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I'll have him paving Sugar Hollow instead of Whipple Hollow.
Yep. Yep. Keep
That
all
might not
up
be,
in his
that's
hizzy.
may be okay. We don't know.
We may not be doing much paving this year.
No, there might not be any paving this
May
year.
I've
not.
heard the costs are outrageous.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it may be one of those years where
Might be
you
one of the years we just say, hey,
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, we should, and then we usually get together a half hour before
Prior,
Yeah,
town meeting,
Yep.
and meet downstairs in the Lothrop cafeteria and just kind of go over what's the what. And because though this is like, we could also be doing it before then as well, you know, because you have never done it, and we've never done it without John.
Without John.
So,
yeah, we don't really know all the
So
things
none
he
of us know what
probably
we're doing.
did, so.
because John really kind of led everything, so we'll all figure this out together. But we should maybe, you know, make a point of.
Maybe we should meet 45 minutes ahead of time and just,
Just in case.
Okay.
so we know who's gonna do, because John did a lot of speaking
That's
too.
what I know.
And so, yeah, so one of us may have to take over that until the moderator takes over.
Yep.
So I think,
Well, we'll
yeah,
have our town manager by then. Don't forget.
Well, I was gonna say,
right, but he'll be new too and
Well-
being introduced, so
Yep.
he's, you know, he hasn't done it either, so,
Well,
Who's
he's
our
Not for us,
moderator?
no,
Who's our
but-
well, no,
moderator?
not for us, so.
Who's our moderator?
Oh, Rob Spencer.
Ron Spencer, the attorney.
Jim Garvey backed away from it, I guess.
No, it was supposed to
no.
be Kevin Kirby.
Kevin.
Kevin,
but then
Kevin's
he
not here,
oversees.
He's overseas right now.
overseas.
Kinda hard for him to fly back in just to tell me.
Yeah, I don't think.
They probably
we're gonna
frown on
pay
it.
for They probably frown on that.
Did you see
yeah.
that jet go over this afternoon?
I heard it. Didn't
Holy-
see it.
He was below the clouds.
Yeah?
Over my house. I could see the pilot. That's
Really?
so bull crap. I was like, holy Christmas.
Whoa.
That's how low he was.
Huh.
I've never seen one that low. He
Wow.
was actually below the clouds.
Wow.
Wow.
Right over my house. I'm like, whoa. I heard him coming. And I'm like, what is that?
No, I heard
The
out and I
most
looked
I've
and it
ever
was
seen
already
one.
gone.
And I think over there all the time. But that one was low.
Mm.
I said, oh, he makes that
Maybe,
mountain over
maybe,
there.
yeah, maybe you had a UFO on one of
No,
your
he was,
rooftops.
no, he was one of them big jobbies.
Before we move on, move on from town meeting prep, is there anything else that we've ever done beforehand that we need to do? Other than the town report, obviously.
I
Is there
don't
anything
think
else
so.
that, I can't remember any,
I submitted the town report to the state today because I was told I had to do that.
oh yeah?
So I found the email address. That's all submitted and taken care of, and I got
Okay.
a confirmation email.
Alright,
So
cool.
we're all set there. And VLCT had asked for a copy of our warning and our budget. I gave it to Helen, and she submitted it as town clerk treasurer. So that's been taken care of as well.
That's-
Other than
Alright.
that, I don't.
Okay,
You've covered it.
yeah, alright. Perfect,
If we didn't do it right, we'll ask for forgiveness.
yeah. Do the best we can.
It's a
Well,
trial.
you voted
What
after
did
the
I
next
do?
election,
There you
know?
go.
It's a trial and error year.
Yeah, it's been, you know, I think everyone's understanding of where we're at.
Situations, yeah.
All right, appointment position vacancies. We haven't filled the ones we have, and we've been adding more.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So come on, folks, step up.
Longer.
I know.
Yeah.
So I, in your packets, I gave you what I have as appointments
Oh,
at
right.
this point.
Yep.
Um,
Some of them I think weren't updated. I remember looking at them. Right?
I tried to have them updated as much. I did, the emergency management director, I did update that one.
Well, animal control officer.
Animal control officer, chief has asked to not be an animal control officer. He said he'll back them as much as he can,
Yep.
but he would rather not be an animal control officer listed in the book anymore.
Why not? He gets the big bucks.
All right. So, but we just have to put Rich Bowman in here.
Yep,
'Cause I think it's become more of a job than it used to be.
it has become a big one.
Mhm.
And then. So the emergency management director. What was the actual title that Steve Shortsleeves got? It was emergency management services or something.
Emergency services,
He was the alternate, wasn't he?
He's
no,
an
he's a coordinator or something.
Yeah, he's got a different title on the paperwork, but I don't know if we want to just have him also in here as alternate. His name should probably just be in here regardless. I mean,
I can put whatever his acronym is. I have the piece of paper. And
yeah,
I'll-
okay. Have you viewed any fences yet?
I have not had to view any fences. No, I have not.
Just
No.
curious,
I
just
don't think there's
curious.
many fences left in town.
Nobody fixes their fence no more, Dave. They don't
I know
have to.
that Bill Drummond reached
Right.
out to me and he says he's still willing to be the alternate for the Rutland County Solid Waste. I personally don't know Nancy,
Joe.
to see if she still wants to be our solid waste rep. I can send her a letter and ask her. I guess those used to go out. I can't find them on Linda's computer, so I can look on town manager computer and see
Okay.
if we can find those
I
letters
think
that used to
John
go
used to
out.
send
He used
those.
to
Yeah,
send them.
yeah.
They were from John, so they should
Okay.
be on the, yeah.
So I can mail those out to these positions and make sure everybody wants to stay.
So we need, somebody on water and sewer
We need an animal control officer.
and, insect control, or,
Yeah, we need an alternate for
control.
insect control, and we need an alternate, or we need a person for the communications.
Cud.
oh, that's right, that's the other one. Okay, yep.
Is that doing anything? They having meetings or
They're
doing?
having meetings, they're exact same time as this meeting,
As
so
this one.
none of us have been
Yeah.
able to attend. We've talked about trying it, but it might start a little bit before this meeting, but would likely.
Same, yeah.
We had gotten that paperwork so long ago where somebody had, well, had done all, like, if each town in the district ponied up like X amount, like it could get, broadband throughout, but then I haven't heard anything else since then.
Well, exactly.
They haven't
and I
come to
mean,
us
our
for the actual
internet
money.
out our way has gone to crap. I called up Comcast, and for a mere $70-some thousand,
Yeah, they
I
can-
can have internet out
There
there.
you go, hey.
Jeez,
Yeah.
nice.
That's what the other guy said from, the one that has just 2 houses on that
Yeah,
road.
out
Yeah.
there on, the quarry, what was that? Out by Tucson.
Oh,
Blue
Sean,
Quarry. Blue Quarry
good.
Road, right?
Oh, yes.
Blue Quarry,
Yeah,
Sean
Blue
Good,
Quarry,
yeah.
Quarry
yeah.
Road, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to ask him. I think he would be good to ask for that because he was very.
Oh, yeah, you should, because he was very much wanting to
Yep.
get it, so
Yeah.
I know.
maybe he'll light a fire under him.
I know. Somebody did just give me his email. I forget who it was, so I'll reach out to him. I think it was Gen Pop. Anyhow, I'll reach out to him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that's it for that. And then, okay, so,
We just have to do cannabis.
right. So I guess we have to,
Steve's title is Emergency Services Director.
thank you.
ESD.
Not sure what the difference is, but
Few letters.
that, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Doesn't matter much.
All right, so I guess we have to recess. Select
So
board.
moved. And do,
Do we need a motion to get
I
to?
just said,
Yep.
yeah, we
Okay.
need a motion to recess, which I
Okay.
just made.
I'll
Gotcha.
second it.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 I can open up.
Okay, open up as the cannabis board.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so, yeah, I guess that's you again. Letter for Apex Cannabis, so,
So Apex Cannabis is looking for a letter from us stating we can give them capacity on both the water system and the wastewater system. Normally, it's not a very big deal. We've got plenty of water we can do the capacity for. The wastewater end of it, because I hate to use the term, I'm very green, but when it comes to this, I know nothing about it and what it produces. I've taken a few classes on it and found that there can be some discharge, depending on the process they're using, that can be adversely affect our plant. So, with talking to the gentleman in the pre-treatment portion of the state, he had me send Apex a form to fill out. They sent the information to him, since he's more of an expert on it, looked through it. And with all that being said, with the request that they do a monthly effluent flow, total suspended solids, and total phosphorus monitoring for the first few years. We'll figure out how to word it after that. But once we have an idea of what they're discharging and coming into our plant, we can lower the amount of testing we're gonna ask them to do, but I see no reason to not give them the letter to let them have the capacity.
okay.
they're already a pre-existing customer where the location is. It's just for them to operate and discharge
They
into
have
us
to have that
legally,
permit.
they need the letter stating we have the capacity for it.
Okay.
So where, this is the first I've heard of this.
Where-
Okay, so they're located at, I don't see the exact address here, but it's the old Keys 2 facility. They're in the back garage
Of,
where Keys
The
2
old
used to be.
Dennison's store.
Sticks and
Right across from
Stones,
Kamuta's.
right by Kamuta's.
Dennison's old store.
no, Dennison's old store,
Didn't
yeah.
go back far enough.
Way out back.
Well, yeah, he and I and Joe were, you know, I'm a little younger than them, but we're still on the
Keys
same
2,
page.
I thought it was far enough back.
No, Dennison's, yeah. So they need, so they grow, what is it, a growing facility?
Going to be a growing facility, I can,
In the village?
yep.
We've heard about this before. I don't remember hearing the name Apex, but we have heard about
There
this.
was
It's
a
been-
different facility that
Must've
we'd
been
already
last
done a
summer
letter
when I
for at
wasn't
one
here.
point, and they ended up not going through with it. And Apex is deciding to use the same facility, and they had to go through all the permitting on their own and
Yep, okay.
redo a letter and so on and so forth. But since the last time, we've created a cannabis control board, and this is also a little bit different process than the last ones we're gonna use, where they're actually going to be discharging a little more into the wastewater stream. And if you want, if you want any more information on it, I can send it to Ann and have
Is
her.
there permitting they need to do that?
Well, I'm just, I
Not
mean,
through
'cause
us though,
this
right?
must have been
No, I
last
don't know.
summer, because either that or I'm losing my mind, which is possible with my students, but anyway, especially after today. But anyway, I wanna know a lot more about this before I approve anything. I mean, that stuff stinks.
Yeah.
Oh no, what are you? Clearly haven't been walking in that area.
Yeah,
You can smell it
Oh,
already.
you can smell it
Oh, yeah.
already?
oh yeah.
So they're already doing it?
They are already up to be running.
Oh.
So
What I gathered is they were basically just waiting on me to get them a letter, which
How can you just do that without any?
they've gone through all the state
Yeah,
permitting.
they
That's
did
I'm
what
saying,
they
state
had to,
permitting,
you know.
they got them all?
Well,
That's
with
my
the
advice.
exception of some of it, because they're waiting on my letter to get the very
So they don't have it then?
last bit. They don't have it completely done, but
Okay.
they said they basically, their anticipated startup date was 1/20/23 when they filled out the paperwork. So they're a little bit behind, obviously, waiting for things, but with any type of stuff like this, yeah,
I mean,
hydroponic
I
cannabis
certainly don't
cultivation.
have a problem with a business coming into
No, I don't
town,
either.
however, we don't need a room full of people bitching about it.
Well, they would have already. Have we heard any complaints? Because it does. You can't smell it. I
You
mean,
can't-
I
oh, okay.
walk that. I walk that fairly frequently. You
Okay,
you
well,
do
maybe people don't
too.
mind.
So you know you can smell it.
You
But-
just smell, say I have, I don't.
you know.
smell it.
I can give you the areas in that particular loop where you smell it a lot.
Yep.
Okay.
So and we haven't heard any complaints, right? So
is that an
I checked the
inside
town
or an
manager
outside?
phone.
It's gonna be an inside facility.
Dave, before you go tonight, or before, I can
can't picture
photocopy all of
a
this
whole
and
lot
give
of
it to
room
you.
in that
Okay, thank you, yeah.
area.
Well, yeah, it's not that big a place.
No, they're gonna
No.
have 2 employees.
Well, they just converted a house in Brandon for the same thing,
So they're
One
growing in
across
that
from-
house, the one on the north end,
on the north end of the quarry.
by the quarry?
Yeah, by the quarry.
So that's a growing place too?
Huh.
That it isn't much bigger than this room.
Well, you don't need a
well, I
lot
guess
of
you
them,
don't
I
need
guess.
too much.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. I never grown it.
And that, I mean,
She was Miracle Grow.
something,
Good one, Joe. You're on your game tonight.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe they're composting grandma and using her ashes.
This is Joe. We're on camera.
Like all
Well, we had fun, 'cause we sure as hell don't make a lot of money here.
I certainly don't wanna hold up a business.
No, I don't
But,
either, but.
and I guess if Sean, if you're confident nothing's going in there that's gonna mess with our sewer plant,
I'm good with it.
then I guess I don't have a problem with it. This is the first, must have been last summer when this was brought up, cause I don't ever
I don't
remember this
remember
being
it
brought
being
up.
there, but.
Well, like I said, the last one, it was, well, Brenda was here, because I'd never actually
Oh, that's
written one of the
probably last
capacity letters before, because John had always done those in the past. And she worked with me, and I wrote the last one for the last facility. And actually, at that point in time was when I think she started suggesting looking at having a cannabis control board so that it could be out there and everybody could know what's going on, because the last thing you want, somebody coming up and questioning you about a new business, and you're going, what are you talking
Don't even
about?
have a clue what it is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Apparently we don't.
I don't,
That's what I said,
no,
we don't.
no.
Oh, yeah, and it's, yeah, and on my end, like I said, I know nothing about the cultivation process and what's produced. I'm learning some now, and with talking to the gentleman from the state, biggest things we gotta worry about are the phosphorus coming out of there, because we are now permitted on how much phosphorus we can discharge out of the plant.
Yeah,
And then the solids coming in, because we have to remove 85% of the solids coming into the plant before we discharge. We're normally in the 95 percentile with that, so it's not a big issue, but we don't want to have too much coming in that we can't handle.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Same with phosphorus. I think right now we're at 7% of our yearly limit that we hit.
Yes.
It's a running average. So, I mean, we're very low. I like to keep it low, because I don't want to be on the edge
Right.
of, failing anything, but we also monitor the phosphorus coming in, so if we start seeing a rise in that, and that's why we're gonna tell them they have to give us some, test results on what they're discharging. That's why I figure the first year monthly, we can get an idea of what their operation does. We can lessen the requirements as time goes on, because they're gonna use the same steps and procedures, and then we'll know at whatever stage the plant is at, what the discharge is like. So I can know if I'm getting more phosphorus in the first few weeks or in the final stages or whatever, and then we can plan accordingly. And if they're producing too much, we'll go back to the state pre-treatment individuals and discuss with them what Apex can do to pre-treat the water coming down.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, so is there a way this can be, because I mean, I assume if they thought they were gonna open on the 20th of last month, they wanna be open. Is there a way this can be temporary, contingent on the fact that we are assured nothing is gonna be messing with your stuff? And then once that is over with, we can give them
Final approval.
the
or
final
whatever.
approval? Is that possible?
I mean, I believe in the letter, we can write it how we feel fit. I will say I'm gonna miss John on writing this one.
Yeah.
But
I'll help you.
I'll do what I can, and Ann will proofread me and change a few
I
things.
mean, I don't know what anybody else thinks about it. I just,
If it's gonna
Well, it sounds
affect
like
the-
there is a, like at the
Something
state level,
could-
there is something to
there's
be done
something-
if it ends up being that there is too much in
Yeah.
our wastewater. It sounds like there's already something, like some guidelines
Yes,
or.
we at least have a pre-treatment section in the state. They don't obviously just do cannabis, but anything that could potentially hurt the plant, they would come down. Grease trap, when we were having some issues with the dye, it was a pre-treatment individual that came down, looked at the places where the dye was coming out, read their SDSs, and checked to see what it would be doing to the plant. Thankfully, none of that stuff was harming us too much, so if we get to that point, we'll discuss it with pre-treatment, see what we can do, and then we would have Apex pre-treat before they get discharged to us. In our ordinance, it does give us the ability to do that. The wastewater ordinance says you cannot, I don't remember the exact wording, cannot discharge something that is gonna be harmful to the plant.
So as long as that's in
so,
there.
well, as long as, I think, we need to make sure that all our Ts are crossed and our Is are dotted as far as this goes. So anything that there could be any question about needs to be in this
And
agreement with them.
That is
And
why
it
it's
needs to be very
probably,
clear.
to these folks, seem like I've taken my sweet time with it, is because I've researched as much as I can and talked to the right people at the state level that assure me they know what they're talking about, hopefully, and,
Wow.
we've got as much info as we can, and we'll,
Yeah.
go forward with it stating
state.
We're gonna
rules.
force them to do some testing, give us the results, and then I'm gonna compare that to what my tests at the plant are as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with
Okay.
that way.
We can include copies of the ordinance with the letter too, highlighting the
Would be a
important.
bad idea.
Yep, then that, you know,
That's documented.
no, it's all gotta be documented.
As long as
Because
the
the last thing we want is to have to
Oh, yeah. Do
mess
something
with our plant down there, especially the numbers you're telling us are very good.
They are,
I
yeah.
don't wanna see them change.
No.
We can discharge up to 1,065 pounds of phosphorus per year, and I believe last year we were under 100 pounds with the
But,
way we're doing it.
Yeah.
I still want to keep it there. At
Yes.
one point in time, without the treatment we're currently doing, we were up to 500 pounds. Still not bad, but we could make it better, and we did. So
yeah,
I like to keep it as low as
No,
possible
yeah.
and keep Lake Champlain as in good a shape as possible, at least from our portion of it.
yes.
Yep, for
That's, yep.
All right, then do we need a motion to allow Sean to write this letter?
I'll make a motion, we allow them to write the letter.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay.
No, I'm not opposed.
Oh,
I
just-
just
you were
wanna make.
hesitating. I just wanna make sure.
Well, I just wanna make sure everything is
Yeah.
in there.
Copacetic.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
We don't want a big surprise later.
No,
No, we don't. No.
That's why I've been documenting it.
good.
Well, no, that's, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Alright. Done as cannabis board. We open our select board meeting.
Motion to adjourn.
Well, we have, no, well, we're gonna close the open portion. We have a second.
well, yeah, okay,
So
I'm
not
sorry, yeah.
Not gonna adjourn, we're going to executive
It's
session.
okay.
Been a long
Yeah.
day.